Okay, you can't get a wider smile than this, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0 clean sheet. We have absolutely slapped AC Milan. Yeah!
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
My boy Ryan, how you feeling, bro? Let me know about your initial thoughts on this match. Obviously, we had that excellent watch along. But yeah, talk to me how disciplined and how professional that performance was, man.
Potter ball is here. And you know what I love about Potter? I'll get into that in future, but you asked me how I feel. I feel happy because I didn't know much about this manager coming in, and what I'm seeing, what I saw today is something that made me feel confident with him. So yeah, man, we did really well. Buzzing, important victory because we needed this. We needed it. If we lost today, we might have gotten knocked out. Champions League.
I think even a draw probably wouldn't have been good for us, knowing that we're going San Siro after that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say we needed this, and I'm very proud of the boys today, and I'll get into that as the video goes on.
100%. Let's start from the top. Lineup, Ryan, I was a little bit skeptical. I looked at that lineup and I was like, ooh, it reminds me of a gaffer that we had once upon a time. I don't know who exactly, but yeah, it was very, very reminiscent. But look, as the match went on, we saw tactically why
Rafa Benitez.
Yeah, maybe that guy. But Ryan, look, I mean, a lot of people on the live chat were saying, Miz, you were skeptical. And not just me. There was heaps of people on the live chat. We had over 600 people at one stage. And a lot of people were a bit, weary about that lineup. But that lineup worked out. Everyone was disciplined. Let's talk a little bit about that discipline. Let's start from, we'll talk about the key players. And obviously, we'll touch on every single player anyway. But in midfield, first of all, Ryan, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all throughout that game, you've praised him. I praised him. There's something about that performance today that made you sort of believe that maybe he could potentially continue long-term as a double pivot player. I said that, look, previously I've seen him not always have that awareness. He seems to leave his partner exposed. But this game, he was always there alongside Kovacic, tactically aware of his situation, ball-playing ability, something that needs to be better, but not bad in this game. The physicality to brush players off, that drive. I thought Ruben Loftus-Cheek, along with Kovacic in the middle, was very, very good.
Yeah, man. I would say that structurally, we were set up very well. But what I always say is that, structure is the first half, but is operating within that structure defensively. It's how quick that you get to the back of the attacker, how aggressive you are to win that ball. How fast are you to pass after getting that ball? These things today was on point by all of our players, but Loftus-Cheek impressed me most because of my expectations for him. Because I feel like Loftus-Cheek has been a utility player for us, that if we needed a wing back, he's there. If we need a DM, he's there. If we need an attacking midfielder, he's there. With Loftus, I think that we've seen on the Tuchel in that lone DM role that he really is comfortable receiving that ball on the turn, having short passes under pressure from DM areas. And today showed that he have the defensive part of the game. If he's given a job, a direct, clear job to do, and you give him that responsibility, I think he's good at it. With being a DM long term, though, I see him being a deep line midfielder because I think his end product isn't suited to being high up the field as before, as pre-injury. And I think that he could develop his game as a deep line midfielder. So fantastic performance.
Something to look into, and consistency is what's gonna make this whole situation that we've talked about make it more acceptable down the track. Like, consistency is what's going to make me believe that he's going to be able to make it. Let's talk about that first goal. We've had complete control of that match. I feel probably one proper opportunity AC Milan had, which was in the first half, right at the end, Rafa Leão driving into the box. We'll talk about that. But overall, full control, professional performance from us. set pieces, it was like we were threatening them just before that goal that happened from the set piece. Prior to that, there was 3 Thiago Silva headers that we got, one from, I think, from the free kick, 2 from the corners, and even the one that Wesley Fofana scored, it was off the back of Thiago Silva's header initially, and then Fofana gets that goal, which was a bit of a mess in the box. Fofana ends up getting injured. I'm a bit worried he may be injured for a little bit of time, but Chalobah, which we'll get to, I think did a very decent job. But yeah, Ryan, in regards to the set piece, do you think maybe that's one of the things maybe Potter said, look, we get a lot of free kicks, a lot of corners, got to take a bit more advantage. And I just feel like maybe we were targeting Thiago Silva a lot for reaching to him with those set pieces.
Yeah, I think that Fofana and Thiago Silva, I think that, listen, Fofana is really good defensively. I think in making up for his positional errors, I think that with maturity and getting to learn what is needed, especially.
I think we saw that today, right, Ryan? Where Leão went past and then he recovered and got that back.
I think it's similar to Reece James. My complaint from last season is that I say, like, listen, shoulder to shoulder, Reece James will win every 1v1. He's fantastic at defending there. It's just that sometimes positionally he doesn't get to be shoulder to shoulder because he doesn't read the game defensively. But we've seen that over the past few months, he's improved that tenfold, and now he's one of the best right backs in the world. Same thing with Fofana, I think. The thing is, reading the game defensively in a back 4 is quite different from a back 3. And I know Leicester played a lot in a back 3 under Rodgers, but I think that with what Potter wants our wide midfielders to be, so we're in a possession-based team, right? So they need to get forward into midfield and make those vertical passes. I'm happy that Fofana's first idea is always to make those vertical passes. My only thing is that sometimes he needs to learn when is the right time to do things, when is the right time to close down, to go forward. Something that Rudiger had to learn too. And when he did learn it, he was fantastic. So I see the same trajectory being for Fofana, just instead of age 28 at age 22. So
and you're right. It's so well said that just knowing there was a moment where he was looking for a pass and he was dwindling on the ball and the ball was taken off him. It's times like that when he sees nothing's on, and rightly or wrongly so, if the players are not there, they should be there. He shouldn't dwindle on the ball and just go back and recycle again. But you're right. Hopefully he recovers quick. But for the timing, Chalobah, just quickly on Chalobah, I have to say, very fine performance from him, coming off the bench. A couple of times Leão wanted to take him on, did take him on, but Chalobah was there. There's probably the one time right at the end, as I said, Leão beat both Chalobah and Reece James, which then the eventual shot ended up skying. But Chalobah, once again, very, very good. Let's talk a little bit about Reece James. Second goal, Reece James in the second half, specifically. First half, not bad as well, but second half specifically, Ryan, he was on Leão's case, man. So close, and really did not let him breathe. And then moving forward, he was always there supporting the play. He was the widest guy with acres of space. Whips in that cross. Aubameyang with that nice tap-in finish, which we'll talk about. Reece James then follows that up with a goal as well. Emphatic finish. For me, man of the match, Reece James. Defensively, offensively, I said it. I tweeted it at mid-game. World-class player for me. Ryan, how good was Reece James? And is this is it a surprise that teams like Real Madrid, Man City are knocking on the door for this particular player?
Listen, Reece James, I said it earlier in this video. I said on the stream, I think Reece James is the best right back in the world right now. And I would say he's in that spectrum. So maybe not number one, but in the conversation with the best, the 3 or 4 best, right? And I think he's going from strength to strength. I think, as I said, defensively, he's improved so much now. I know he scored this goal today, but we always expect that from Reece, his crosses, his goals. But I think that what really improved this year is defensively. As I said, not shoulder to shoulder, but being in the right positions to get shoulder to shoulder more often and not being exposed. And he's been fantastic. So with Reece, he will continue to improve because he just strikes me as that kind of person. And that is truly what you call a world-class talent from academy. That is the
100.
world class. That is the world class talent.
That is I love the emphasis. That is the world class talent, man. That is so true. Like this guy, of that debate, everyone talks about Trent and Reece James. Trent, yeah, excellent going forward, but as a package, as a whole unit, none better than Reece James. And I think Rio Ferdinand recently said as well, the best right back in the Premier League. I have to agree with that. Aubameyang, just quickly as well on that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, nice tap-in goal. Not like your proper complete game from Aubameyang, but it didn't need it to be either. He was trying to get involved every now and then, and he was doing a decent job enough. But when needed, when he was called upon, he was there. Specifically that cross. How many times have we seen that cross from Reece James, whether it's Kai Havertz or Pulisic or Timo Werner from previous last season or anyone else, that tap-in goal, it's either scuffed or it's gone over the bar. And it's great to see Aubameyang being able to do that. And I was saying to Ryan in the watch-along that down the track, when we do come across more hurdles, today, the setup that we had may not work for other games, but today, at least we saw that setup worked. And against Wolves, it may be totally different. It might be a low block, but players like Sterling we'll get to, but Aubameyang, with those tap-in finishes, hopefully we have those answers in those matches. Right, just a little bit about Raheem Sterling. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh. He's a standout player this season so far in terms of attack, but there are games where he's a bit notorious with the way he, lacks that final pass.
I feel like sometimes he tries to do too much.
Yeah. Especially that first half, that should have squared the ball to Aubameyang. That would have been an easy 2-0. I
think he does that throughout his career, though. He's done that throughout his career, even in England with Harry Kane. He do too much, even though Harry Kane is free. And City, that's just part of the package you get with Raheem Sterling. And that's part of how he plays football. But the thing is, I would take the positives in his game every day because, as you said, he's been our standout player this season, I think. So I'll take that and not hold this against him. And if Potter sees something he wants to change, I'm sure that one of the things I've been most impressed with Brighton is their attacking combinations and attack.
Yes.
So I think that as time goes by, these things will be ironed out.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree as well. Hopefully these things are ironed out. Mason Mount, Ben Chilwell, let's talk a little bit about both of them. Mason, for me, a very, very good game, Ryan, as we've said it in the watch-along as well. A couple of very good passes. One, obviously, that Sterling one in the first half where he should have squared it. That was Mason that put the ball through, and then in the second half. These are the notable ones where he did a nice switch of play. There was quite a lot of traffic in the middle, and he literally bent the ball around and released Reece James. I wish that materialized to something as well. But playing in that left side, a little bit deeper, sometimes sort of moving into that area in the front. Yes, in the first half, he had that shot that was blocked, and that's where we appreciated his movement into the box, getting into that area and having that shot. But that's where I feel like, you just need to polish those areas because you need to hit it on target. But overall, Mason Mount, for me, a decent performance. And Chilwell, as hopefully time goes on, we can continue seeing him slowly develop. I think defensively, inverted sort of left back sort of player, left wing back player, did a job, not really robust up front, but that's fine. Hopefully, as time goes on, he can come back to that. And that was my always that issue. Can he come back to that pre-injury Ben Chilwell phase? Hopefully he can. Ryan, thoughts on Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell, man?
Yeah, I think with Mason Mount, with the hurdles that he's been presented with today, I think he did fantastic. I think that I really like his positioning at the edge of the box many times when Reece James goes for a cross or whatever end it is. I think that's something Potter implemented because honestly, we weren't seeing that with Tuchel. I think Tuchel likes far post runs instead of having someone on the edge of the box. So I think that's a big improvement, which I like because now Reece James have two options, right? You have someone in the edge of the box, you have someone in the middle, a striker going in. And hopefully, as our wing backs get more fitness, we could probably have Chilwell going for far post in future times. But I think that Mason did well. On the left-hand side, he's better than on the right-hand side. I believe that you saw in Derby, he played there. Before Derby, he played there too on the left-hand side. I think we saw today he did a few good passes to Bodal from left midfield areas, left central midfield, which is his natural position. I say all in all, with the hurdles he was presented with today in that front three, he did fantastic. But I think that eventually different hurdles will come, different challenges, and he would not have the ability to. Why? Because he's not a winger. He is a midfielder. So I hope that in the long term, Potter could use him as a midfielder.
Absolutely bang on. And as I said in the watch along as well, consistency with Mason Mount. I'm not going to go over the top. Very good performance. I'm not going to forget what has happened previously. So I need to see him do this 90% of the time. Yes, you can have one odd game here and there where you're not going to be good, but 90% of the time, you've got to do well. Ladies and gentlemen, look, overall, very ecstatic, emphatic victory. Did not expect this from Chelsea. Kudos to Graham Potter. Kudos to the entire team for believing in what Potter set out to do and sticking to that game plan and really nullifying AC Milan. Like the AC Milan that we thought was going to show up, it definitely didn't show up. Looking into next week, it's going to be interesting, but I feel the damage is probably done a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to take that game lightly one bit. You know, AC Milan at home, they'll have vengeance. Obviously, they'll look to right this wrong. But we should take massive heart and we should hopefully go down there with our chest high. So, yeah, final thoughts, Ryan, before we wrap things up?
Final thoughts is that today I learned something about Potter is that he will...
I love it.
He will analyze the opposition, see what challenges they bring to the table, and then figure out ways to oppose that challenge. I like going game by game and winning game by game, no matter if you do it stylistically pretty or not. I think the prettiest thing about football is winning, and winning in every phase of the game. Winning in the first third, the second third, and the final third, in both in attack and defense, and build up and then in attack, and then in defense, which is press, and then deep. So that is pretty to me. Pretty football is winning. Pretty football is final whistle, 3 points. That's pretty to me. And if Potter could do that, we know he's versatile with his systems.
Yeah.
Tactically, I think right now we cannot depend on quality to have a philosophy. Right now, I think we need to use what we have, which is we have above average players, but not excellent players. So with these above average players, we need them to tactically win each game. Win. I would say win your phases of the game, and then that will add up to winning the game. So I've seen that today from Potter, and hopefully we could continue this because that's the best we could hope for this season. Not philosophy and style. Philosophy is winning and building a foundation for this project, because the real project begins now, but not in the way you would see. Don't think about the windows and the walls and the couches. Think about the foundation, building the house on the rock. Not the sand.
Oh, man. Ryan has absolutely dropped everything there. I love it. Winning football, pretty football is winning football. All right? Just remember, winning it's not about being all philosophy and this, that right now. It's about winning. And that's exactly what we're focusing on. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Make sure you follow Ryan on Twitter and subscribe to his channel as well. Until next time. See ya.
All right. See ya.